low fertility side, this is what I call the beta side, and this is don't think blue pill means beta, I'm just saying beta side here for provisioning. They're looking for comfort and rapport. They're looking for feminized facial features, something that makes them feel comfortable, something that makes them feel secure. For long-term provisioning, familiarity, security, parental investment. This is where women want to feel safe. And it kind of goes back to our hunter-gatherer beginnings where the men were there to be the protectors. And it's during this phase that they're more open to, like, say, talking to you as if you're an emotional tampon. Okay, I'm sure anybody familiar with the emotional tampon effect, that's where you've got a woman who is, goes out and has sex with a hot alpha here, and yet comes back over here and regrets it and wonders why he's not calling her back. And this is where all the beta orbiters live. Okay, these are the guys who are saying, "Oh, it's okay, babe. Don't worry. I'm there for you. I would be your perfect boyfriend." And it's during this phase that she's going to complain and bitch and cry about the guy that she had sex with a week ago over here. And this is where a lot of more beta blue pill guys kind of lose it, because they think that during this is where they got it. They think that this is where their strength lies. I'll tell you right now, that is not where your strength lies. But because they are more prone to what a beta provider is, putting out right here, they think that they're getting in there. They think that they are identifying more with the feminine during this side, so that they're going to have a better chance. They're hoping that all of the equity and all of the investment that they put into the beta provisioning side of that is going to pay off when they come back over here. But I'll tell you right now, the guy she's crying for here is not the guy that she wants to fuck over here. Those are the guys who are on this side. This is where you're going to spend more time on a singular woman. And this is really mostly beta game. This is beta strategy. It's the guy who is waiting to take his shot. I call this in the first book, I call this the sniper mentality, where the guy's just there and he's waiting, and we're just friends right now, but man, as soon as she needs me, I'm going to take my shot, and that's when I'm going to prove my worth, and she's going to really be into what I'm giving her. Why can't she see that I'm the perfect boyfriend? Why can't she see that I would make the perfect husband? Well, she's not going to see that because your whole game relies on this side of the hypergamous spectrum, okay? On the opposite side, this is the guy who, when we've talked about the Pareto principle on a few times. If you look at, I think it's in the second book or the third book. The Pareto principle is, of course, the 80-20 rule, where it's 20% of the effort gets you 80% of the results, okay? Something very similar to that happens in the sexual marketplace. 20% is being generous. 20% of guys are that alpha guy who women want to get with during that high fertility phase. The rest over here are those 80% that are still playing the beta game, and they're still trying to put all of their resources into getting the girl, and putting all of their resources into, applying themselves and investing themselves into one girl. These are the guys over on the 20%. These are the guys who are spreading the seed. This is the male imperative, unlimited access to unlimited sexuality. And that is in pretty much every guy in this room. And if you doubt me on that, just go and look at how popular pornography is, because pornography does exactly this. It appeals to unlimited access to unlimited sexuality. And that's why we have free online porn right now, but you got to go, pay money to watch a movie, to watch a hit movie. But you don't have to for pornography. It's right there, and it's because that's what it's playing onto. It's playing onto that, again, that 80-20 rule. So you got the guys over here who are able to live that and to spread the seed and to have sex with multiple women. And over here, you've got the guys who are going to focus on one or very few women. So that is strategic pluralism. What we have here is Tinder's attractiveness scale. I don't know if anybody has seen this yet. But what we're looking at right now is this right here is the physical preferences for the top men, and you'll also see that this is identical to the 80-20 graph that we were just talking about. And we see male advantage and we see female advantage in Tinder. And this is based just solely on women choosing the best guy, the best looking dude that they can find on Tinder. So you are at a decisive disadvantage if you are on Tinder right now and you don't have a six-pack abs and you don't look good, because we're not talking about game. There is no game on Tinder. There's only you showing off your physical side. But this makes a very good measurement tool for understanding women's alpha side sexuality. All right. I don't know, maybe you guys, just a few little fun facts. Today's human population is descended from twice as many women as men. Okay, these are from doing DNA and genomic research. 80% of women, but only 40% of men reproduced in our evolutionary past. Genomic research shows that 17 women reproduced for every one man 8,000 years ago, and that was after agriculture. So. Also, regardless of war, famine, disease, the stats are always the same. Women's strategy ultimately decides the breeding of this species. And that's what I'm going to get into right now, is what Dr. Jordan Peterson was talking about when he was saying that hypergamy causes male dominance hierarchies. Hypergamy itself is responsible for so much more than we really want to let on. Women like to complain about the patriarchy. They say, oh, well, we want to smash the patriarchy, we want to destroy it. The reason that the patriarchy exists at all is because of hypergamy. Because what you've got is, when you've got women who are selectively picking the top 20% to breed with, those men are going to create dominance hierarchies to be the one who gets to be the one who's breeding. So there's a lot that goes on from just the base, fundamental biological parts of hypergamy that move into our social strata. And like I was saying before, we have our divorce laws, our abortion laws. Abortion's a great one. And I've said this before, if you ever follow my Twitter feed, abortion is the last word in hypergamy, because nothing says he's not the one like being able to legally end his child's life in utero. Okay, why is there such an outcry when we take that away? If we say we're going to make abortion illegal, why is there such an outcry for that? Why is there such a we need to have our bodies ourselves, and that's a good social narrative right there. Women will do everything in their power to control hypergamy. And back before the sexual revolution, back when we were any time before, say, 1960, when we didn't have the sexual revolution and we didn't have unilaterally controlled birth control for women, we had checks and balances on hypergamy. It came in the form of the church. It might come in like social controls. It might be just shame. It was shameful to have a child out of wedlock back in just as early as the 50s. They had to go and take, your poor daughter, she got knocked up. We're going to have to take her secretly off somewhere so she can have the baby, and because it was just a disgrace on the family. That social control is a control on hypergamy, because anything that controls that breeding, anything that gets in the way of a woman's sexual strategy is something that they have always needed to have a complete control over, but have not been allowed that. That's why we think of women as being repressed, or we're repressing women's sexuality. Why would we do that? Why would we want to repress any woman's sexuality, especially for guys who really want to get laid all the time? I mean, that was the best thing about the sexual revolution and birth control, was because finally guys didn't have to worry about it. We can go have sex with whoever we want to, so guys signed up for that. But they didn't realize is they're also signing up for their own selectively being bred out of the gene pool. So guys picked up on that because they want to have that sexual access. Because remember what we were talking about before, unlimited access to unlimited sexuality. In today's society, when we've got hypergamy is really defining the conversation between all kinds of things that we want to do. If we go and we say, just say we had Viagra, and then we had, just recently, we had the Viagra for women, and women wouldn't take it. And why wouldn't they want to take something that makes them hot for their husband or whatever at a certain time? Because it bypasses all of that stuff. It goes all, beyond, taking that sexual control away from them. So if you're trying to medically treat hypergamy is what you're doing with that. You're trying to say, here's a pill so I can get past your hypergamy and go, well, women are appalled at that. They don't know why they're appalled at that, but in the back of their head, the reason that they are is because it removes that control. It removes the hypergamous control over their ability to choose who they want to breed with and who they want to have, you know, a life with and a family with. So you've got the guy that she wants to have sex with, and you've got the guy that she wants to live with. And like I said, they rarely come together, and they rarely do the two meet up. But that, in a nutshell, is like this the conundrum of hypergamy. They're trying to balance those two guys out. And I would argue that today, women are not even really looking for that guy who embodies both of them anymore. They're looking for the guy that she can have sex with, and then the guy that she can have a life with. And that's why we see the rise of like polygamists. Like, I don't know if anybody's familiar with the poly movement. Now, the poly movement is basically, it's two betas fighting over one girl who's going out on Saturday night to go fuck the alpha. You know, and so she's just basically trying to figure out who are the two betas that she's going to live with and has the best providing potential. But I think that it's really important to look at certain things like consent is another one. We have consent laws that are specifically designed to give women that control, that absolute complete control. We're going to outlaw, and I think in Great Britain right now there's a law on the books that says if you go and you approach a woman on the street, it's considered a hate crime right now. Okay, well why? Why would that be? I can't imagine that. Well, it's because women want that hypergamous control. They don't want that guy coming on to her to, to say, hey babe, let's go out on a date. Let's go, these guys doing day game. They don't want to have to deal with that if that's not what they want. Again, it comes back to it's a complete legal control over who they want to breed with and who they want to live with. The same can be said for divorce laws. We're still standardizing on divorce laws that are still based on the old set of books or the old social contract, and we're expecting men to be these perfect providers, and no matter what. So we're going to always, it's a resource transfer is really what it is when it comes to divorce, where we've got this guy who was, maybe he was a beta guy, and he's going to be paying child support and alimony, and at the same time, she's going to say, okay, my security needs are met, and we're going to talk about the long term here. My security needs are met. Now I don't have to deal with that, and I'm going to just focus on alpha fucks for a while. So the dad is already taken care of. He doesn't live in the house. He's paying money. He gets to see his kids, 50% of the time, and she's going to go off, and what's she going to focus on? She's not going to focus on trying to find Mr. Right again. She's going to go and look for, the guy that she wants to have sex with and have some fun with, and then a week later, she's going to go back to being mom. 𝗚𝗚𝗧𝗎